Hey everyone. Okay, bit of progress report on the two Murray tractors. This one here is ready to run. I had it running last night on starting fluid, and it should be good. I did test the transmission. It did go into gear. It did bump forward a little wee bit, and then it died. What I had to end up doing is replacing the starter on this. It had a completely seized up starter, but the entire top half of the starter, the ring gear, the piece that the ring gear slides up on is all still okay, and the top clip was good. So initially I was going to take the starter off the other Murray. We'll talk more about that one in a second. It did not work. The starter worked, but when the spark plug was in, the engine would not crank over. So the starter is completely shot. I ended up using the Mouse Craftsman's starter right down in there, but I used the original ring gear. So I was able to get everything off the Mouse Craftsman starter. I cleaned it all up and I put it on this ring gear and put it onto this engine. So this one's ready to go. The starter, I've never seen one that seized up before. So I don't know if this machine was right underwater. He said it wasn't right underwater, but you can never really tell what people are saying, especially on Kijiji. But anyways, the carburetor looks really clean. I pulled the bowl off last night. There's a tiny bit of debris in the bottom of the carburetor. But other than that, the carburetor looked clean. Hopefully I don't have to take it off. The tank is clean, so we should be good on that aspect. The overall plans for one of these machines, most likely not this machine, since this machine has a good engine. It needs both back tires done, so I'm going to have to wait and see. I just don't want to pull a good engine off and put it onto the other tractor. I'd rather just deal with the other tractor, pull the engine, and put the bigger engine on and test that transmission. I don't want to have to mess with this engine. Since it's on here, it should run. I don't want to take it off. So the plan is with the other tractor now is going to be a cross between an off-road and dirt track tractor. Because the Racer, it's more street. It's lower. It's not really meant for off-roading. So the Murray will be more of an off-roading tractor. Get down into the mud, to the dirt, sort of thing. And it'll still go fast. It's going to look relatively stock. But it's going to have a great big engine in the back. It's going to have a lot of power. It will obviously be pulley swapped. And it's going to be a very capable machine. And that's where I'm going for on this project. And the other Murray will be put back to stock and will be fixed. See, if this one here, both back tires are junk, so the tires are going to have to be replaced. I already replaced the front ones, so these front ones are going to have to go on the other one, but it's going to come down to if I can get the tires off. So let's go talk about the other one now. Okay, here's the other machine. It's got 4 good tires. The engine is definitely seized. What I might end up doing is trying to break this engine loose and see if I can test the transmission that way. But I'm not going to be leaving this engine on here. So I'm kind of stuck on, do I want to just put the good engine on here? If I'm going to be pulling the engine off, it probably won't take much longer to pull the other engine off and just swap them that way. So anyways, that's what I'm looking at doing right now, is either yanking this one off, making this one the actual racing machine. So the only problem is with the other one, the one tire is seized. I have not yet tried to take these tires off, so I don't know if they're going to be seized or not. So that's where I'm looking at on this, but I do want to test this transmission. So I'm thinking pulling the top cover off the engine, break the engine loose, see if it has compression, and see if it will run. And put the starter either from the other tractor on here or from the new engine from the V-twin, the 21 horse V-twin on here. They're the same starters, which is nice. But I do have one other starter I could try. I don't know if it was going to work or not. It's from an 8 horse. These are 12s. I know Briggs and Stratton changed their starters right between 12 and 14 horse. So I'm not sure if the lower end starters will fit the 12 horses or not, or fit this style 12 horse, as they've changed a few things around. This machine overall is actually in better condition, other than it's missing that panel right there, which that panel is going to be staying off here anyways. I want that on my machine. if I don't have it, it's going to bug my OCD. So this machine overall is in better shape, but it has the bad engine. So I'm just trying to think here, do I want to swap this engine? Do I want to go through that hassle of swapping this engine and then go through the hassle of pulling the other engine off and putting it onto here? But the tins, unfortunately, on this engine are in better shape than the tins on the other engine. So the tins on the other engine are coming off, and these tins will be saved because they're black. The other ones are red and they're faded. That's the only downside to these tractors. The engines sit out, there's no cover on them, and they do get weather beaten, especially if it's red or yellow, any color other than black. I find that they do get weather beaten and they don't necessarily last. So this engine does have clean oil, as you can see, so it might be just locked up from sitting, possibly. So I gotta pull the top cover off and try and break the engine loose. I cannot turn it at all from right there, so I do gotta pull the top cover off. There's no signs of a mouse nest as far as I could tell from looking at it and when I did the initial look at it. So he was saying it's possibly something with the belts. It could still be. I gotta look through that system as well. And if this engine does seem to be viable, I'll obviously leave it and put it all back together and see if it runs as is. But I'm just gonna put a starter on. But there's a quick progress report on these machines. I think this one here looks pretty good with the bigger front tires on it. It's going to help with the front end ground clearance. Unfortunately, I did lose one of the bushings for the front wheel. I got to either try and find them at Princess Auto or bring them into my local shop and see if they can find a bushing like that. I looked pretty much everywhere. I cannot find the bushings. And these tires I'm running on here are practically brand new. They're MTD tires because these machines, the Murrays, were built by, I believe, by AYP, which also built some MTDs. But the back tires are a standard axle, and it's just the front ones are a little bit smaller. So all I really need is a bushing of some sort. I'm actually improvising with a dipstick gasket. It works, and I just don't want to leave it like that because that's going to end up wearing out, and it's going to put too much strain on either the rim or the steering components, and it's going to wreck it down the road. But probably get a quick video of trying to start this thing up. So you can see the back tires are completely shot. The one does come off, but the other one is seized on. So that's why I'd rather change out the tires on this. And this machine's already kind of started going down the road of becoming a modified. So I don't really want to start pulling parts off the other machine. If those tires are seized on, I'd rather leave them on. And if I don't have to take them off, I don't have to take them off. Emily wanted to get in the video as well. Shania, don't want to stare at your butt. There. And yeah, she has a muzzle on, only because she's a barker. But that's pretty much it. So I'll talk to them later. Please keep your redneck like always, and push from comment. Stay tuned for a drive of this machine, hopefully, if it stays running. Bye for now.